and gentlemen, this is Napoleon Total back again with some Shogun 2, Follow the Samurai Scramble for the Far East mod. And we are back with our Prussian campaign. A few seconds ago you saw that the Northern, not the Northern Alliance, the Netherlands just broke our military alliance off, so that's a bad thing. It's a sign of that they're eventually going to invade. But it's pretty well, it's alright because everything is fine, and the reason is simply because the British have been dealt with. And with that dealt with, that gives me a lot of access to move a lot of troops out of this tiny island, and I'm just going to move them back onto the mainland, in which I'm preparing for a British assault. We are sieging Yamato, in which we are just sieging it out. I'm preparing my fleet to do nothing, literally have them stuck in the harbor. This army is continuing to siege on to Amori. I'm going to move Christian's army to siege it. I'm not going to attack it because there's a massive French army to my right, and I'm just waiting for my allies, the French in this scenario. We're both at war with the Northern Alliance to help out. A lot of factions have been destroyed. One of our in-game conditions is to take control of Yamashiro. And yeah, I also decided to end the Northern Alliance military access because I know if they want to declare war, they will have to eventually come through my lands, and which that's a terrible idea, so yeah, I'm not gonna be stupid enough to give them military access. That said, everything else is looking pretty fine. No big thing is going to happen anytime soon, but yes, we are gonna end the turn, and we're just gonna see what happens. Before I was ending turns, well, actually no, I was ending, I was cutting some parts of the end turn sequence out, but now with the end turn sequence being very useful, I decided not to cut most of it out, and also quite short because we are almost at the end game, so yeah. We still have protests everywhere, and yes, as a matter of fact, with the French army to force, they have some wonderful units called Chasseurs, Voltigeurs, Fusiliers, Zouaves, Colonial Fusiliers, and Grenadiers. We are gonna assault this place. My army, and yes, guys, sorry, just to say off the bat, this is gonna be very glitchy, and the reason is because we have 3 armies, 4 if we count the enemy, and literally, it's gonna be very laggy, extremely laggy. Not as much as we head toward the end, because there's a lot of people who are gonna die. So yeah. As you can see in the front, we have our Lancers, Guard Uhlans, basically guys with massive lances. Behind them we have my general, and behind them we have our entire Guard infantry, Guard regiments, full of life guards. And that is 1 army off the bat, so that's wonderful. There's a lot more guys, just saying. I'm gonna move my Guard Uhlans up, and we're just gonna do stuff. There's nothing I can do because my intention of this is to let the French do most of the heavy fighting, and I'll just sit back and relax. The second army I have is this Prussian light infantry army, mostly made up of colonial light infantry. They're just gonna move up upon this hill, overlooking the entire battlefield except for the castle itself, of course. And we're just gonna sit here while the French do most of the killing. As you can see in the distance, my general is just sitting down, literally dismounting off his horse, and it's gonna be sitting down at this house. And I'm gonna have my Guard Uhlans pretend it's like a parade. I think the Guard Uhlans are very good at parades, don't you? Yeah, Guard units are very good at parades. But anyway, we have the French army, which is the faction leader just passed us right a few seconds ago. This entire army is made up of very elite troops. Is it just me, or the voices for the Frenchmen are way too loud? Obviously I don't speak French at all, but yeah, the voices are a little bit too loud. Yeah, a lot of different units mixing in here. Appears to be some Voltigeurs, Grenadiers, Guard Grenadiers, Guard Voltigeurs, and a lot more infantry. Elsewhere, that was only a quarter of the French army. The rest of the, well, actually no, that was a half of the French army that we just saw. Now we're seeing some Zouaves, some Voltigeurs, some more Voltigeurs, a few Grenadiers in the mix, and Grenadiers of the 2nd Legion, because the 2nd Legion, by the way, is the French Foreign Legion. I think. I think there's actually, yeah. Yeah, and some more guards. Some more guard voltigeurs. Very reminiscent for those that have a note to the uniforms of the French Imperial Guard. The Young Guard, actually. Yeah, the French Imperial Guard was a branch of the French army, and when I say a branch, it's a large part of the army. But anyway, we have a lot of troops for the French, a lot of voices too for the French apparently. Anyway, we're going to be looking at the settlement. The settlement is pretty interesting, in fact, now. Holy god, it is multiple tiers. This is the top tier, the 6th tier to be exact. Right below that we have the 5th, the 4th, the 3rd, and just more tiers going down. But if you guys think you saw this place, yeah, this settlement is pretty ominous in the sense that we fought a battle here at this settlement. Well, not this exact settlement, but with a similar made castle. That's how I put it. To be honest with you guys, a lot of the castles during Japan were built similarly because no one's gonna go around and just start building castles when you can use a pre-made example. So yes, a lot of interesting things for the castle too, like a lot of towers, which is going to be a pain for the French. Not for me, because I'm not assaulting. And speaking of the French are right here, moving up on this hill, and they're going to assault. This French army, once again, is very reminiscent to the Napoleonic War French army. As a matter of fact, when Napoleon III reformed his army, it was pretty reminiscent to his dad's army. Actually, no, sorry, not his dad's. I'm sorry, guys. His nephew's army, which is Napoleon I, it was really reminiscent to Napoleon I's army, and his nephew was, let's just say, very keen on exploiting the glory of the French army. We're gonna get somewhat into that later on, but yeah. On the right, you can see a massive army moving. Now this is the left, and we can just see these guys just moving up. These voltigeurs of the 2nd Legion with some grenadiers of the 2nd Legion. You can tell because they are you can tell they're voltigeurs because they are wearing yellow collars, and in the French army, yellow collars. Yellow stands for yellow collars or facings. Stands for the voltigeurs. The blue facings, I think, stand for the fusiliers, which are the line infantry, and the red facings are for the grenadiers, which obviously are the guys who are the strongest, toughest men in the battalion. Yeah, some voltigeurs followed by some fusiliers, and yes, and how do I know if they're from the 2nd Legion? Some of these units are wearing green instead of the traditional blue of the French army, and that is how you tell they're from the 2nd Legion. 2nd in particular, I don't know why they give them green uniforms, but although it is not uncommon for the French to wear green uniforms. A few examples that I have are the French dragoons who will wear green uniforms. But yeah, they have some regular grenadiers in the front lines, no surprise. Blue uniforms and red tunics. I'm a little bit colorblind, guys, so please do not hold me too accountable if I get the colors wrong. Eventually, the French army decides that, you know what, we're just gonna go into melee and we're just gonna assault the enemy. And you can just see the masses of the French army just like just trying to assault. The general dismounts, the faction leader dismounts and decides to also scale the walls, which is a big no-no. But then it's the French, guys. No offense to anyone who's French, by the way. It's the French. They do some very brave yet foolish stuff. Well, actually, no, they just do some brave stuff. The French are just gonna enter this place, and the walls are undefended, so good thing for them. But they're gonna be fighting in melee against this spear levy, and they're gonna do quite well because these guys are once again trained troops. But as time ticks on, you would soon realize that a lot of things are against the French. One of them is just the masses of troops that the enemy has, and the second is that the enemy has this very terrifying thing called the arrow towers. Why do I need to stress so much that arrow towers are the most scariest thing that I can ever find? Oh wait, I don't. Anyway, arrow towers are going to be a pain for the French in this scenario. I don't think I need to explain why. They're just spitting out arrows like machine gun bullets. So yeah, more troops of voltigeurs grenadiers are just going to come up and keep attacking. I do not know why the French threw in their voltigeurs so early. Usually voltages for the lake. Oh gosh, no, they're for skirmishing, but I guess why not just charge in? As you can see, the colors also tell me they're from the Second Legion because they're literally flying the colors of the French Foreign Legion, which is another indicator in which I think that these guys, the Second Legion, are probably French Foreign Legion. So yeah. Once again, nice job on the uniforms, even with the plumes. Plumes actually tell me what type of units they are, by the way. If it's red, it's obviously Grenadiers. If it's blue, it's Fusiliers. If it's yellow, it's Voltigeurs. So yes. Yeah. Oh, I think at this point the French army would have been changed a little bit, but yeah. My god, these guys just fired point-blank range at the enemy, and then now they're charging in. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Anyway, as you can see in the background, everything is going pretty well. I don't know what really to say. And yeah, I just did some research, and like a few seconds ago, I did some research, and it says the Second Legion of France is the Second Foreign Legion of France. So literally, yes, it is the French Foreign Legion, which explains why the colors of the flags that the French officers, well, the colors why the men of the Second Legion were coloring were the modern day Grenadier symbol for the French Foreign Legion. So no surprise right there. Of course not. So yeah, these guys are from the French Foreign Legion, so no surprise at all. These guys are on the wall still shooting away at my guy, well, yeah, a bunch of mass. As you can see in the distance, my guys of Grenadier, Grenadiers are just my own lifeguards, my bad, are just gonna be helping out the French somewhat. Yeah, the French are gonna storm onto the second palace. Well, not the second palace, but the second keep. They're gonna try to do their best. As you can see, the flag standard of that unit is the Grenadiers, the Fusiliers. Gentlemen, I do not think it's a good idea to practice marching, especially not when under live fire. Although, if you do practice marching under live fire, that tells me you have a lot of guts. Anyway, sorry guys, it is a very laggy, as time goes on, and with a lot of people dead, it's gonna be less laggy. But anyway, my guys have actually started opening firing on this poor unit, and we're not doing as much damage because there are Frenchmen in the way, as you can see on the bottom, but we are actually gonna open fire no matter what. As a matter of fact, yeah, I'm actually more interested in causing friendly fire for the French, because, well, I might be at war with them soon, and why not? Let's just do myself and my ally, do myself and my enemy a favor. Not that the enemy's gonna win in this scenario, but whatever. Back on the battlefield, you can just see how many dead there are, mostly of the enemies, not the French. The French are trying their best to scale this wall, but because, okay guys, this is not how you scale a wall, just saying. If you're fighting a multiplayer battle, this is not how you scale a wall, because in order to scale a wall, you must line your troops evenly out and then scale the wall, except for some reason the AI who's commanding the French army is literally scaling the wall, literally massing them up, which is the biggest no-no. Yeah. The enemy garrison is literally opening fire on the French. I do not blame them. They're just like, because these guns are so, because these guns are 300 years old, they will be firing at a shorter rate, but because there's so many Frenchmen clumped up, it doesn't really matter. You just have to shoot, and they're gonna hit. The enemy general, which is wearing the bicom, the hat, not the cap, but the hat, is literally fighting this militia unit, and yeah, he has been pretty lucky in not getting shot. But anyway, it's the one that is the second one, not the first one that you see. The first one is a general staff officer, and now the general is dead. Speak of the devil, the general is dead, and now this staff officer is gonna get shot by, oh my god, a bunch of guys just holding their guns. Man, that was more like a. Although the general did take out some guys, it wasn't enough. The French are gonna send in their general again. Okay, great, guys. Maybe you shouldn't do that. The enemy units have nowhere to run because literally, everywhere is Frenchmen, and even if they do run, they're gonna get shot to pieces by my guys. So might as well just stay in here. These chasseurs, once again, chasseurs, voltigeurs, are skirmishers. Chasseurs, if I'm correct, are hunters. Voltigeurs are light infantry, I believe. Hunters obviously also refer to them as light infantry. But what nice uniforms on these guys. Obviously this looks like baggy pants were especially used by the French army in Algeria and other places. But for some reason, this unit is going to be running back and forth. And just while they are running back and forth, they're going to be shot apart by the air towers. Anyway, on to the real battlefield, which is right here. The French have the second Legion Grenadiers of the French Foreign Legion are just storming through this little place. While in the back, the enemy who have used all their ammunition decide to, you know what? At least we're going to use our swords. So they decide to charge out, and yeah, they're going to be fighting. We have some regular Grenadiers in the mix. And yeah, some Grenadiers with the with the French Foreign Legion Grenadiers, and they're just going to be doing a good job against these guys. Although their numbers are starting to look low, and that is why off the battlefield eventually, you guys can't see it right now, but off the battlefield, the French are just deploying a lot more units onto the flank. During this entire time, I realized that the French haven't deployed their Guard of Voltigeurs, which are part of the Imperial Guard, which, for those that I was just talking about a few seconds earlier, the Imperial Guard is part of the French, it's a branch of the French army. Now you might be thinking, wait, why is it a branch? So the Imperial Guard is literally an army within the French army, and it literally is massive. How do I put it in a nice way? The Imperial Guard is not just one specific unit. It's cavalry, it's artillery, it's infantry, it's everything. For example, the Old Guard, which is the most iconic unit of the Imperial Guard, the French Imperial Guard, is actually the most veteran unit. You have the less veteran units, which are the Middle Guard, the Young Guard. So those are less veteran, but you have even more horses and stuff like that. But anyway, we won the battlefield. We won the battle. It says that we lost 1,000, but guys, most of this have been were due to the French. No surprise right there. Literally the French lost a lot of guys. So yes, that's pretty interesting for the French, not for me. Anyways, you can see the Northern Alliance offering me peace. I asked them to become my vassal, and they agree, but I'm not gonna do that because I want their land. And although being a vassal, you can technically give me some of your money, it is just not enough for me. I am at this point a very greedy person indeed. I'm moving most of my army back to Harmina, and the reason why is because I'm almost pretty sure that the who those people, oh yeah, the Dutch are gonna invade me, preparing to invade me. So yeah, we're just gonna be preparing an army. This army is leveling, well, not leveling up, but like they're replenishing after massive battle at the island, in which we didn't even really fight. Elsewhere, you can see that Yoda have a lot of troops. I'm also using that army in preparations for an possible invasion of the Yoda. So yeah, that too. Just having armies I find around is very, very, very useful. But anyway, is there anything else I want to do? Not really. Oh yeah, I'm gonna move these troops out of Harmina, and because I'm just gonna put them outside, and I'm just gonna use them as literally troops. So yeah, why not? I am replenishing at a very quick rate. This Gunther has logistics, which is great, but yeah, nothing else I can really do in this situation. I can upgrade the National Railroad, but I decided not to. But in the north, after we just taking Amona, I'm sorry, not Amona, Amori. We're just gonna push on, push and push on. This Lifeguard army is just gonna wait here. I don't know what I was thinking, but I could just move on. My ship is gonna be scouting around, doing literally nothing. Well, actually, no, they're gonna do something. But they're just scouting out, and there's nothing much I can do. The French do appear with a few ships left and right. I don't know what the Northern Alliance is doing, so I can't really say anything about that. But anyway, they do have a somewhat of a smart army in there, but I don't care. The Kuwana decide to attack me, and I'm gonna prepare for the assault. Prepare for the attack. My bad. Here are my mortars. They're just gonna open fire when the enemy come in range. Obviously, I cannot move them. I don't think I need to tell you guys why. And the rest of my army is just basically planting stakes at this time. Yeah. After looking at the French army, of course, I still believe my guys look pretty unique. Once again, most of these uniforms, the trousers at least, are almost the same trousers that were used during the Napoleonic Wars against the French. I find that pretty funny. We just literally fought together in a battle, and then I'm just talking about, oh, darn the French. We fought against them in the Napoleonic Wars, blah, 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 blah. And that's pretty interesting. Yeah, most of these uniforms, well, actually no, none of these uniforms, except for the ones of the Life Guards, were used against the war against Napoleon. The Life Guards, this uniform for the Life Guards, indeed, has been dated all the way back to King Frederick the Great. So yeah, that's wonderful. As you can see, my entire line is just moving up. The enemy army is just being mostly made up this cavalry, which is, once again, guys, cavalry is probably the biggest threat, even after they charge into our stakes. But yeah, these guys are not gonna charge just yet, which, yeah, it's kind of a smart decision. They're just gonna wait, and then after a while they're gonna charge. They are getting heavily bombarded, but they're just gonna walk calmly towards my guys. Yeah, they finally decide to press forward. For those that are wondering, in the movies, yeah, like this, guys. For those that watch cavalry charges in movies, it is pretty inaccurate. The best example of a cavalry charge done right is if you watch the Battle of Waterloo. They did a pretty good dang job of what cavalry charges looked like during the time. Obviously, we're talking about a Japanese army, so I can't really relate. But yeah, they're just gonna charge forward, and my guys are gonna open fire. And to my surprise, they're actually doing a pretty good job of not dying. But once they're charged into stakes, you pretty much are guaranteed to die. Yeah, they did a pretty good job of not killing my men, but like just pressing them back, which that's the goal of a cavalry charge. On the left, the enemy cavalry charges the exact same way, and my guys, realizing that the stakes haven't done most of their job, decide to form a square formation, and that's hopefully going to be doing what it should. More on the left, the Wooten Brigands are being charged by the enemy cavalry, and we're just going to do a counter charge. And my cavalry is going to be facing the enemy's mounted samurai, and we're just going to do a good job. My troops are also able to charge through the stakes, which is wonderful. For some reason, my guys were sent out of square formation, so that's a terrible move. The enemy is going to charge again against my Brunswick infantry, and yeah, they're not going to do a lot of damage. Once again, we're just going to be opening fire on the enemy. This Brunswick infantry is doing a pretty good job against the enemy forces, and yeah. All across the board, we are winning, except for on this one small place in which the enemy cavalry is just overpowering my Wittenberg infantry. Eventually that sector will be somewhat dealt with, but yeah. You can see now the enemy infantry pushing forward, and we're just going to gun them down, as long with the rest of the enemy forces, so that's a problem. Elsewhere, actually no, not elsewhere. The enemy infantry is just going to push up while my Hessian infantry just open fire at them. This is brief. The enemy spears, I think those look like spears, yes. Those are spearmen, are charging straight towards my guys. Actually no, they're not spearmen. Wait, are they? They look like they're holding guns. Wait, they are holding guns. My bad. So these enemy, wait, no, they are, wait, no, they're not spearmen. Okay, the enemy matchlock is charging towards me. Wait, why would you charge at home? Guys, yeah, the AI is not, it's not good. I would rather prefer the AI in Rome 2 DEI, or the AI in Total War 3 Kingdoms, on Legendary difficulty, of course. If it's on easy, it's sometimes still problematic. Finally, the Spear Guard, the Spear Levy are just gonna charge straight at us, but we're just gonna shoot at them. And then we're gonna go into melee. The enemy general is just gonna be charging straight at us. I don't know what he's thinking, but I guess you have to be brave. But however, this is not brave, this is stupidity. Yep. Our guys are just gonna be engaging in melee, in which we will be winning. Yeah, this center with the enemy cavalry is not going so well. My cavalry is literally right behind my guys, prepared to support any time, any second. But this cavalry has mopped up most of my center, although I do have most of my center just running away in a general direction. And the reason is simply because I want some of them to be alive, but yes. My guys are just opening fire on the enemy, and the enemy decides to return fire, in which they're doing quite a terrible job. The enemy cavalry is going to be a nuisance, but eventually I decided to get rid of them by charging my cavalry. We can see here the enemy infantry is just opening up on my guys, but they're doing such a terrible job. Now my guys are just able to fire back at them. Most of them going down within the first few volleys. You can see I am massing troops on their flank, their left flank, my right, by the way. And we're just gonna open fire on the enemy, and we're just gonna almost rout them instantly. This poor spearman is just retreating. But anyway, yep, the entire army routes away, and then we're just, yeah. And with that goes the rest of my army. You can see we've lost some pretty low numbers. We have mounting our breast everywhere, so yeah, that's gonna be a problem everywhere. There's nothing I can really do about that. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about mounting up breast. I'm just gonna move armies there in Harmina, if that helps. I can technically build more troops, but I'm not interested in my spies. At this point, there's a lot of them. Yeah, yep. Yamato province has been sieged. Aomi's preparing for pressing attack. And Yamato, we're just gonna auto-resolve because I have no intentions of fighting this battle because, how do I put it in a nice way, we're just gonna win. Although I'm gonna quick save just in case. The results have come in and we've lost 69. Not bad. Not bad at all. The Wakayama are literally right here, and yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Elsewhere across the board, everyone's pretty dang happy towards me. So yes, I'm gonna move this army. I think they are more than enough to take out the enemy. Although, we have to realize, guys, the enemy really hasn't showed up, so I can't really say anything. I just realized one of my generals have died. The enemy ninja probably got them. Although I don't see anything. It must have been the last turn, but yeah. So that's problematic. Spies have been starting to get a pain, but the best way I can deal with them is, yeah. Sigmund is right here, but I remember having Paul, but yeah, Paul is dead, I think. So that's unfortunate. That is why I'm gonna end the Northern Alliance as soon as possible. Humanly possible, of course. There's nothing much I can do. Yeah, of course I can do nothing. What else? What else? There's nothing much I can do, so yeah, I'm just gonna be looking around. Just to make sure, once again, guys, for those that haven't heard me in the last few episodes, basically I have this paranoia in the sense that literally every time I've gotten so large of my empire, I've decided to, you know what, am I missing something here or there? Am I missing stuff? Am I missing? No, ends up I'm not. It's just a thing I have after playing 3 Kingdoms Total War. Like literally, if you're not careful, for every turn you will be losing stuff, so that's problematic. Yes, now we can see the French. We are actually not technically bordering the French, but we are near the French, so yes. Oh, we're gonna end turn, and our navy is just gonna be scanning around, being at this port, and yes, nothing else I can do as of right now. Ching, the Netherlands, the Russians. Once again, as we get into the end game, you guys are gonna see a lot less factions. It also does means that a lot. Oh, great, a lot less. What do you call it? A lot less. Enter sequence. A lot less time for the enter sequence. As you can see, the Wakayama have decided to declare war on me. No surprise right here. We're just gonna blow their ports. I'm gonna move my army, and this is a pretty elite army. We're gonna recruit some cavalry. Yeah, my army indeed is pretty massive. Just defeated. Just taken Yamato, so it's gonna be interesting. At this point, is having an empire means more about managing how people are happy, how happy they are, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna be bordering the Yodo. We're gonna look to see what the heck is going on left and right. Yes, there's nothing much I can talk about at this point, but yeah. But as I've been saying, the entrance sequence for during the end game is very short. I'm gonna have this cavalry join up with this army. I'm just gonna march them on to Ugo, and that is the last Northern Lines holdout. So it's gonna be easy for us. We're gonna upgrade the rail companies, and yes, gonna try our best to do stuff. But anyway, that is pretty much it for this episode. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Now before you leave, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. I would be honored if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, more videos are coming out, so it is a good idea to click on that notification button. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.